Nikolai Valuev, widely recognized as the largest heavyweight in boxing history, stood an astonishing 7 feet tall and weighed over 300 pounds. His immense frame made him an unforgettable presence in the ring, one that often overwhelmed opponents before the first punch was even thrown. But what if the most jaw-dropping part of his story isn't just his size or his fists? Born to parents barely over 5 feet tall, Valuev's dramatic growth baffled doctors, and rumors even swirled that he might have had ancient Viking lineage due to his bone structure and facial features. Though feared in the ring, he once wrote tender love poems to win over his future wife. And in a surprising twist, it wasn't a brutal knockout that ended his career. It was a benign brain tumor discovered during a routine medical check. His path would twist through politics, literature, film, and even winter sports leadership, all while remaining grounded in a quietly devoted family life. Behind the world's most intimidating stare was a man living a story far stranger and more inspiring than fiction. Born on August 21, 1973, in Leningrad, Soviet Union, to Sergei Valuev and Nadezhda Valueva, both standing just 5 feet 5 inches tall, Nikolai's extraordinary growth defied all logic and medical expectations. Without any publicly known siblings, he was often viewed as a one-of-a-kind figure from the very start. As a child, he stood head and shoulders above his classmates and was frequently the subject of curiosity due to his unusual height and stature. Surprisingly, boxing wasn't his first love. In his younger years, Valuev excelled in other sports, particularly discus and basketball. He even won national youth competitions in track and field events. But at 20, a relatively late age for boxers, he pivoted toward boxing, motivated by a powerful goal: to become Russia's first-ever heavyweight world champion. That decision changed everything. With a natural reach advantage, bone-crushing power, and an unshakable drive, Valuev embarked on a professional boxing career that saw him win his first 42 matches. It was a meteoric rise, one that earned him a title shot against John Ruiz in 2005. After a 12-round war, he walked away with the WBA heavyweight title, becoming the first Russian to claim that historic honor. Valuev wasn't just a novelty act, he was a real champion. Over the next 2 years, he defended his title 3 times, solidifying his reign. But in 2007, he faced his first setback, a decision loss that blemished his perfect record. Most fighters might spiral, but not Valuev. He responded with 3 straight wins and, in a dramatic rematch, reclaimed the WBA title by again defeating John Ruiz. As he approached 35, the toll of heavyweight combat began to weigh on him. He faced legendary boxer Evander Holyfield and managed to retain his title in a close fight. But it was his next opponent, David Haye, who would test him like no one else. Though giving up nearly a foot in height and over 90 pounds in weight, Haye relied on speed, precision, and movement to outbox Valuev for 12 rounds. It was a chess match, not a slugfest. In the end, the judges awarded Haye a majority decision, handing Valuev just the second loss of his career. It would also be his last professional bout. Following the defeat, Valuev strongly considered a comeback. But during pre-fight medical evaluations, doctors discovered a benign brain tumor. With his health at risk, he retired from boxing, leaving behind a stunning record of 50 wins and only 2 losses. His exit was sudden, but it ushered in a new phase of his life. In 2011, Valuev entered politics, quickly winning a seat in the Russian parliament with the United Russia Party. His fame, discipline, and commanding presence made him a standout figure in political circles. He was known not just for his past, but for his thoughtfulness and advocacy on sports and youth development. During the Russian invasion of Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin personally enlisted him for the campaign, though a severe leg injury prevented him from taking part in active operations. Away from the political arena, Valuev expanded into literature and media. He co-authored My 12 Rounds with journalist Konstantin Osipov, a memoir that gave fans and readers a deeper, more introspective view of his life. The book was celebrated not just for its insight, but also for its literary quality, winning a government award from St. Petersburg. His story was no longer confined to highlight reels. It became part of Russian cultural conversation. He also embraced television and film, making appearances that allowed fans to see his humorous and surprisingly gentle side. Despite his intimidating appearance, Valuev often played roles that leaned into irony and self-awareness, winning over audiences with his versatility. Yet perhaps the most unexpected aspect of his life is his devotion to family. He is married to Galina Valueva, whom he wooed with handwritten poems. Together they have 3 children, Irina, Grisha, Grigory, and Sergei. Away from the spotlight, Valuev is described as soft-spoken, humorous, and deeply connected to his wife and children. Family life, for him, is not just a retreat, it's his foundation. Valuev's commitment to sport never faded. He remains vice president of the Russian Bandy Federation, a position that allows him to support one of the nation's favorite ice sports. He also founded the Nikolai Valuev Boxing School in St. Petersburg, giving back to the sport that changed his life. His mentorship helps shape young athletes, both physically and mentally. Financially, he's managed his success well. With an estimated net worth around $10 million, though some place it as high as $20 million, Valuev has built a stable and diverse financial portfolio. His earnings come from championship fights, political work, television, book sales, and personal business ventures. He owns several properties, including multiple apartments in Russia, 2 homes in Germany, and a private house. His assets also include cars, boats, and investments that align with his love for nature and travel. Always the entrepreneur, Valuev has also explored ventures beyond sports and entertainment. He's been linked to plans for a carvery restaurant in Nuremberg, showcasing a forward-thinking, business-minded approach to post-retirement life. While fans always dreamed of a showdown between Valuev and the Klitschko brothers, that matchup never materialized. Still, his legacy doesn't depend on what didn't happen. It stands on what he achieved. Victories over champions like Evander Holyfield and John Ruiz, 2 title reigns, and an almost mythical presence in the ring are more than enough to seal his place in boxing history. But it's his evolution outside the ropes that may be even more impressive. From world champion to parliamentarian, from author to family man, Valuev has proven that strength is not just physical, it's the courage to adapt, to grow, and to lead a meaningful life long after the cheering has stopped. Nikolai Valuev's journey isn't just the story of a giant. It's the story of a man who dared to step beyond expectations, and in doing so, left a legacy that looms just as large as he does. Thank you for watching.